If you spent the weekend protected in your shell, recharging in silence, and nourishing your soul, get ready. The temperature of the world has just risen drastically. This Monday, the moon leaves the maternal and safe waters of Cancer and enters the sovereign fire of Leo. The rule of hiding has been revoked. The rule now is exposure. You will feel this shift first in your spine. Yesterday, your body asked for a lap and withdrawal. Today, it asks for posture and a stage. You will feel a sudden biological urgency to go out, to speak, to be seen, and above all, to be respected. The modesty and silence that protected you during the weekend healing now feel like clothes that are too tight. The soul has already healed. Now it wants to shine. But be careful. Leo is the light of the sun, but it is also the shadow of pride. With the entry of this energy at the start of such a volatile week, today's danger is drama. The collective ego is hungry. Everyone around you will act today as if they were the wronged protagonist of a movie, demanding validation and applause. If you do not assume your own center of gravity, you will be dragged into the emotional theater of others. This is the moment to swap protection for majesty. Do not ask for permission to occupy your space. Occupy it by divine right. The time for humility is over. To warn the universe that you have left the backstage and are ready to assume absolute command of your own narrative, leave your royal decree registered now. Write in the comments, "I wear the crown." The first undeniable sign that the moon has entered Leo does not happen in your horoscope, it happens in your spine. We call this phenomenon the royal posture. To identify this change, observe your body now. In the last few days, under the watery and protective influence of Cancer, your natural tendency was withdrawal. You felt a gravity pulling your shoulders forward, curving your chest to protect the heart, seeking the fetal position, the corner of the sofa, the duvet. Your body wanted to occupy the smallest space possible to feel safe. It was the biology of survival. But this morning, gravity changed. You will feel a magnetic pull, pulling the top of your head upwards. Your spine straightens almost involuntarily. Your chest opens. Your chin lifts. If you try to slouch or hide today, you will feel acute physical discomfort in your back. The body refuses submission. It refuses invisibility. Leo rules the heart and the dorsal spine. When the moon lights up this archetype, it injects a massive dose of solar energy into your central nervous system. The fire dries the emotional moisture of the previous days. You cease to be a creature seeking shelter and become a creature seeking territory. This physical change triggers an immediate psychological change, the end of modesty. Yesterday, you were worried about not bothering anyone, about being empathetic, about feeling what others felt. Today, that worry evaporates. The focus turns inward, but not introspectively, expressively. You will notice your voice changes. It comes out louder, clearer, and more deliberate. You lose the fear of interrupting or being heard. You lose the fear of occupying the chair at the head of the table. Many people confuse this energy with arrogance. Your ego, conditioned to be nice and humble to be accepted, might panic today. It will whisper, "Careful, you are showing off too much. Lower your head, don't draw attention." Do not obey this voice. What you are feeling is not arrogance, it is sovereignty. There is a vital difference. Arrogance is the scream of someone who feels small and needs to prove they are big. Sovereignty is the silence of someone who knows their size and needs to prove nothing. Today you are accessing sovereignty, The royal posture demands that you accept being the center of gravity of your own life. This means stopping orbiting the problems, opinions, and dramas of others. The sun does not orbit the earth. The earth orbits the sun. Today, you are the sun. If people want to warm themselves in your light, they are welcome. If they prefer to stay in the shadow, that is their problem. You will not dim your shine so that someone's sensitive eyes feel comfortable. You will realize that the world reacts instantly to this new posture. When you enter a room with your spine straight and Leo energy activated, the environment changes. People make way. Service improves. Interruptions cease. This is not magic. It is energetic hierarchy. Human beings are social animals that respond instinctively to nonverbal signals of leadership. When you carry yourself like someone who knows their value, royal posture, the world treats you according to the price you set on your invisible tag. Today's danger is trying to repress this force. If you try to make yourself small today to please or to keep the peace, you will burn from the inside. Dammed up. Leo energy turns into inflammation, into tachycardia, into explosive anger. The fire needs to get out. Do not be afraid of being too much today. Wear your best clothes, not for others, but to honor the temple that is your body. Speak your opinion without apologizing first. Look into people's eyes until they look away, not out of intimidation, but out of intensity of presence. You spent enough time in the cave, healing. The healing is over. The rain has begun. Adjust your spine. Lift your head. The world only respects you to the exact measure that you respect yourself. If the royal posture is the light of the moon in Leo, the hunger for applause is its long and dangerous shadow. As soon as you assume your throne and straighten your spine, an immediate and treacherous side effect arises, a biological, almost desperate need for someone to be watching. Today, you will face a very specific vulnerability. It is not the vulnerability of fear, as in cancer, but the vulnerability of vanity. You will feel a physical intolerance to invisibility if you send a message and it isn't answered immediately. This will not be read by your brain as the person is busy. It will be read as I was ignored. If you do an excellent job and no one explicitly praises it, you will feel the effort was useless. If you dress up and no one comments, you will feel diminished. This is the hunger for applause. Under the influence of this moon, your ego is inflated, but its skin is extremely thin. It needs constant external fuel to stay full. It demands likes, demands glances, demands verbal confirmation that it exists and is important. The mortal danger of this day is that when we are hungry, we eat anything, including poison. When you are desperate for validation, you lower your standards. You accept crumbs of attention from people who do not deserve your presence. You enter useless arguments on the internet just to feel that your opinion was heard, even if through hate. You create problems where none exist or dramatize small situations just to become the center of the narrative and ensure the spotlights return to your face. You become, without realizing it, an emotional beggar dressed as a king. You are wearing the crown, external posture, but you are extending your hand, asking for coins of approval, internal posture. And there is nothing less sovereign than a king begging to be loved by his subjects. Today's astrological trap is the inversion of values. You start acting for the audience and not by your own will. You post the photo not because you liked it, but calculating the reaction. You say the catchphrase not because it is true, but because it will generate impact. You become a hostage of others' perception, and the moment you need applause to feel good, you have handed the key to your happiness into the pocket of strangers. If they applaud, you rise. If they boo, or worse, if they remain silent, you crumble. Today, the universe will test your autonomy. It is very likely that precisely on the day you most want to be seen, the world seems to ignore you. The silence of the world today is not a punishment, it is training. The universe is asking you, can you shine in the dark? Can you sustain your value even when no one is clapping? The sun, ruler of Leo, does not shine to receive compliments from the flowers. It shines because it is its nature to be a ball of nuclear fire. If the flowers open, or if people wear sunglasses, that is irrelevant to the sun. It burns by definition, not by permission. The cure for the hunger for applause is radical self-validation. Today, you need to be your own audience. Do not wait for the compliment. Compliment yourself. Look in the mirror before leaving and say, I look flawless, and leave home satisfied with that verdict. Do the job well and feel the pleasure of competence without waiting for the boss to come and put a gold star on your forehead. Be the first to clap for yourself. When you fill yourself with your own approval, the approval of others ceases to be oxygen, necessity, and becomes just perfume. Something nice, but optional. Cut the umbilical cord with public opinion. The hunger for applause is a golden prison. Break the bars. The only validation that does not expire is the one you give yourself when no one is looking. Now that you have adjusted your posture and identified the hunger for applause, we reach the most controversial friction point of this lunar transit, the death of the good manners you were taught. We call this chapter the End of Modesty. Since childhood, we have been conditioned to believe that modesty is the supreme virtue. We were told not to be full of ourselves, to lower our heads, to give credit to others, not to draw attention. We learned that occupying space is dangerous because the nail that stands out is the first to be hammered down. This programming works very well to maintain social order and to ensure no one feels threatened by your shine. But under the energy of a moon in Leo, this programming becomes poison. Today, modesty is not a virtue. It is an energetic block. Trying to be humble today will hurt physically. It will feel like you are trying to wear clothes 3 sizes smaller than your actual size. You will feel tight, suffocated, and irritated. The universe is asking you for expansion, and modesty is, by definition, a contraction. When you diminish yourself to fit someone's expectation, you're not being nice. You are lying about your magnitude, and Leo, being a sign of fire and truth, hates the lie of false smallness. Today's practical challenge is to stop apologizing for existing. You will notice how many times a day you diminish yourself automatically. Someone compliments you. Wow, what amazing work. Your automatic modesty response is, oh, it was nothing. I got lucky, the team helped. Stop immediately. Today, you will kill that reflex. When the compliment comes, look into the person's eyes and say, thank you. I really worked hard on this. Accept the credit. Absorb the recognition. Do not deflect the light as if it were going to burn you. Let it nourish you. There is a distorted belief that if we shine too much, we will be dimming the light of others or taking their space. Quantum physics and Leo energy prove the opposite. Light generates light. When you allow yourself to shine without guilt, you give a subconscious permission for everyone around you to do the same. Your sovereignty does not oppress. It inspires. On the contrary, when you shrink, you make the environment darker for everyone. Your modesty helps no one. It only validates the collective fear of greatness. Today is the day to occupy space, literally and metaphorically. If you are in a meeting, do not sit in the back. Sit in the front. Speak your idea with a projected voice, without starting the sentence with, "I might be wrong," but start with, "My vision is." If you are walking down the street, do not swerve to give way to those who do not respect you. Hold your line. If you have a talent, show it. Do not hide your art, your beauty, or your intelligence in the drawer today. That would be an insult to the Creator who gave you these gifts. The end of modesty does not mean becoming an egomaniac who runs over others. It means just calibrating your self-image with reality. If you are good, say you are good. If you did it, say you did it. If you deserve it, say you accept it. Today's energy is high profile. The universe turned up the volume. If you try to whisper when the music asks for a scream, you will be out of tune. Break the pact of invisibility you made with yourself to feel safe. The safety of invisibility is the safety of a coffin. It's safe, but it has no life. Life, vitality, and magnetism are in exposure. Assume the risk of being too much for some people. Those who are bothered by your size today are only those who benefited when you were small. Let them be bothered. Your duty is not to be comfortable for others. It is to be faithful to your own size. Turn up the volume. While you work to maintain your royal posture and occupy your legitimate space, you will notice that the environment around you starts to get strangely noisy. If Leo's light brings shine, it also brings excessive heat. And excessive heat in relationships generates the fourth phenomenon of this transit, the drama trap. Today, the world's sensitivity is skin deep. Since everyone is under the influence of this moon that inflames the ego, tolerance for frustration is zero. Small setbacks, which on normal days would be ignored, are treated like Greek tragedies today. A sideways glance becomes a declaration of war. A 5-minute delay becomes an unforgivable disrespect. You're walking through a minefield of inflamed egos. The drama trap is not just the chaos happening around you. It is the incessant invitation for you to participate in it. You will realize that people today don't just want to solve problems. They want an audience for their problems. They will call you, send audio messages, or stop at your desk, not seeking a solution, but seeking a reaction. They will try to trigger you. They will use provocative phrases, play the wronged victim, exaggerate narratives. The unconscious and sometimes conscious goal is to suck your solar energy. Leo rules vitality. When someone has a low battery, the fastest and most toxic way to recharge is by provoking an intense emotional reaction in another person. If I can make you scream, cry, or lose your composure, I just stole your power. I proved I have control over your emotional state. Your challenge of sovereignty today is to refuse the invitation to other people's theater. You need to develop what we call energetic snobbery. A king or queen does not descend from the throne to fight with a court jester screaming in the square. They watch from the balcony in silence and return to their duties. Today, you need to be that figure on the balcony. When drama comes, and it will, your first instinctive reaction will be to defend yourself, explain yourself, or counterattack. Your ego will scream, This is unfair. I need to put this person in their place. Do not do this. If you enter the ring, you have already lost, even if you win the argument. You lost because you descended from your frequency of sovereignty to the frequency of hysteria. You dirtied your royal clothes in the mud of a street fight. The defense strategy for today is visible non-reaction. When someone comes with an emotional storm, offer only silence or monosyllabic answers. I understand. I'm sorry you see it that way. Okay. No justifications, no defense, no emotion. This works like a mirror. When the person throws drama and doesn't receive drama back, they are forced to keep their own chaotic energy. The mirror reflects the ugliness of their behavior back to them. Usually, the person gets confused and retreats because the vampire cannot feed on a stone wall. Beware also of the savior drama. The moon in Leo can awaken in you an excessive and arrogant generosity of wanting to save everyone who is suffering around you. You see someone's drama and think, I'm going to go there and solve their life. Don't go. Today, many people are attached to their own suffering because it gives them identity and attention. If you try to save them, you will be transformed into the villain of the story in the next scene. Stay in your place. Your peace is your most expensive treasure. Do not spend it trying to put out fires others deliberately lit to draw attention. Let them put on the show. Let them scream. Let them kick. You remain unshakable, focused on your own light, too busy with your own expansion to get involved in poorly written scripts where you are just a supporting character. Royalty does not chase drama. Royalty dictates the tone, and your tone today is one of absolute calm. After establishing your posture and protecting yourself from cheap drama, you gain access to the most precious jewel of the moon in Leo. It is not the ego, nor the crown. It is the organ this sign rules anatomically and spiritually, the heart. Today, you will feel the phenomenon of the roaring heart. We live in an era of detachment, where being cold is considered chic, and showing affection is seen as weakness or cringe. We learn to calculate messages, dose enthusiasm, and feign disinterest to maintain power in a relationship. Leo's energy looks at this icy strategy and laughs. For Leo, power is not in hiding what you feel. Power is in the courage to burn openly. Today is the day to break the rule of detachment. You will feel a physical urgency to express love, gratitude, admiration, or desire. It is not a whisper, it is a roar. It is a desire to say, I love you, I admire you, or I want this, without any guarantee of reciprocity. Reciprocity is a concern of the merchant, who wants profit. The king, Leo, does not negotiate, he offers. The sun does not wait for the earth to say thank you to emit light. It just emits, because it is its nature to overflow. If you have been holding back a compliment, release it today. If you have been hiding a passion or an artistic talent for fear of judgment, expose it today. Leo's vulnerability is different from Cancer's. In Cancer, vulnerability is a request for comfort. In Leo, vulnerability is an act of bravery. It is getting on stage, opening your chest, and saying, this is who I am, this is what I feel, and I am not ashamed of my intensity. The roaring heart demands that you stop economizing affection. The economy of affection generates spiritual poverty. Be generous. Be grand. If you are going to do it with soul. If you are going to love, love loudly. The world is dying of cold because of people who are afraid to appear too intense. Be the fire that warms the room. Your intensity is not a defect, it is your fuel. Let the heart roar, for the silence of indifference builds no legacies. After adjusting your posture, taming the hunger for applause and letting your heart roar, you reach the mountaintop of this lunar transit. You are no longer the wounded child of cancer, nor the rebellious teenager seeking attention. You have become the adult in command. You have reached sovereignty. Many people confuse sovereignty with arrogance, but they are energetic opposites. Arrogance is noisy, insecure, and invasive. It needs to diminish others to feel big. It is the child screaming, "Look at me." Sovereignty is silent, stable, and contained. It does not need to diminish anyone because it knows its size is absolute. It is the king or queen who enters the room and doesn't need to announce their title because their presence has already communicated it. Today, the invitation of the moon in Leo is for you to assume the throne of your own life. This is not a poetic metaphor. It is a practical posture. Being on the throne means you have stopped outsourcing the governance of your existence. Until yesterday, perhaps you were governed by the opinion of your family, by your boss's mood, by market fluctuations, or by the fear of rejection. You were a vassal in your own kingdom, asking for permission to act, apologizing for occupying space. Sovereignty ends this contract of submission. From today on, you do not ask for permission, you communicate decisions. You do not wait for the world to give you value. You define your price and the world adjusts or leaves the negotiation. You cease to be a victim of circumstances who explains why they couldn't, and become the authority of experience who decides what to do with what happened. But understand the weight of the crown. Sovereignty is total responsibility. A king cannot blame the weather, the neighbor, or luck. If the kingdom is a mess, it is the king's fault. If your financial, emotional, or physical life is in disorder, assuming sovereignty means looking at this mess and saying, "This is my creation, and therefore, this is my responsibility to fix." This shouldn't scare you, this should empower you, because if you created the problem, you have the power to create the solution. The victim is powerless. The sovereign is omnipotent within their borders. Today, sit at the head of the table of your life. Stop looking sideways seeking approval. The lion does not look sideways when walking, he looks forward. Doubt is a luxury that royalty cannot afford. You are the supreme authority over your time, your body, and your energy. Anyone who enters your life today enters as a guest, not an invader. Treat yourself with the dignity of someone who knows they carry a divine lineage. The crown is not made of gold, it is made of posture, and today it is on your head. The time for hiding backstage is over. The shell was left behind, and you are now under the direct light of the sun. Modesty, which once served as a shield, is now just a chain preventing you from occupying your legitimate place. Break it. Understand that your life is not a dress rehearsal where you stay in the shadows waiting for the right time to enter the scene. The curtain has already risen. The lights are on you, and the world is waiting to see who you really are when you stop apologizing for your own greatness. The sovereignty you access today is not a gift someone gives you. It is a posture you assume. No one will knock on your door and hand you authority. You have to forge it in the stiffness of your spine and put the crown on your head with your own hands. The validation you sought out there was in your pocket all along. From now on, do not accept less than royal treatment. And that starts with how you treat yourself. Walk with the certainty of someone who knows their non-negotiable value. Speak with the authority of someone who signs their own law. Love with the ferocity of a heart that does not fear getting burned. You are the monarch of your destiny. The throne of your life was empty, waiting for you. Occupy it now. To seal this new identity of power, warn the universe that the era of submission is over and that you have assumed absolute command. Leave your final decree registered. Write in the comments, "I wear the crown. The king is back."